Hello, I'm Andy, and I want to just share with you 5 things that God does for those who truly turn to Him. And they all come from one little psalm, Psalm 40. And the first is this, where the psalmist says, I cried to the Lord and He heard me. Do you ever feel like nobody's listening? We can all feel like that sometimes, can't we? Well, the psalmist said, when I cried out to the Lord, when I genuinely turned to Him for help, He listened to what I had to say. He hears our cry. That's the first thing. When we cry out to God genuinely, He hears our cry. The second thing he says is that He brought me up out of a horrible pit, out of the miry clay. And he paints a little picture for us there of somebody trapped down a muddy, boggy pit that he can't get out of. And I don't know about you, but have you ever felt like you're in a pit and there's no way out? Have you ever felt deep in a situation and you just can't see how you'll ever get out of it? Well, this is what he's saying. He said, and God brought me out. The third thing he says is that He set my feet upon a rock. In other words, He gave me a sure, steady place to be. I wasn't about to slip back in, but He put me in a rock solid position. And throughout the Bible, we discover that the rock is Jesus Christ, the one that we can stand on, the one who will never let us down, the one who will never give up on His people, the one who will never forsake us. He's like that solid rock that we can depend on. The fourth thing is, he says, He's established the way that I go. In other words, He's given me a pathway to follow. And He's with me on that pathway through life. I know He's with me and He'll never let me down. That's a tremendous thing. To have someone who guides you, who cares for you, who watches out for you, who watches out for your back. The psalmist says, that's what God has done for me. And then the fifth thing that he says is, He's put a new song in my mouth, even praise to our God. Isn't it great when you've got something to sing about? Now, guys sing at football matches. We sing happy birthday to people. But when do we really sing from the heart? Do you know, one of the Psalms talks about He gives me songs in the night. Even in the dark periods of life, we know how to sing. Why? Because God has given us something to sing about. He's given us a new song, and it's praise, it's thanks for what He's done for us. Now, do you know, these 5 little things that I've very quickly, briefly mentioned, they all relate to what Jesus has done for us in bringing us up out of the pit of our wrongdoing and the shame that often brings, and the conscience that bugs us about those things. And He can bring us up out of that pit when we cry out to Him, when we ask Him, will you forgive me? Will you be the rescuer that I need? Will you bring me out of this horrible mess and establish my path, set my feet upon a rock, and put that song in my mouth? And you know, that's one of the things about Christians. They can't stop singing. We love to sing. We've got so much to sing about. Now, what about you? Have you got a song in your heart? Do you know how to sing? That's what God does. And I hope that you'll discover something of that in your experience as you come to recognize God's amazing grace, his love and his kindness for you when you turn to him. If you'd like to know more, then just contact me and I would love to help you in whatever way I can.